Hey chess lovers, welcome back to Chess Craze. You are here with Karan Parikh, and today we are going to see a very amazing chess match that was played between Viswanathan Anand and Magnus Carlsen. And amazingly, Viswanathan Anand crushed Magnus Carlsen in the game. So I know that you are very eager to see this match, which is filled of tactics. So before going on directly to the game, if you are new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, and it is very important for you to hit the subscribe button because then you will get notifications for all my chess videos and you will learn a lot. So do take time to subscribe my channel. And now let's move on to the game. So in this game, Magnus Carlsen was playing with the white pieces and Viswanathan Anand with the black pieces, and Magnus Carlsen opened with the queen's pawn opening, d4. Black played knight to f3, c4, e6, knight to c3 and bishop to b4. Guess this opening. Which is this opening? It's the Nimzo-Indian. Yes. Now e3, protecting this pawn with the bishop. Then castles, bishop to d3, putting pressure on the king side and also developing the bishop. d5, breaking in the center. a3, pushing our bishop. Now you know the idea of bishop to b4 is to pin this knight in the Nimzo-Indian, and whenever white plays a3, then only we will take. So now we take, pawn takes, and now d takes c4. This is also very important concept, that is we gain time. So here whenever the pawn is here and the bishop supports it from here, then we don't take it. But when the bishop develops itself here, then we take it. Because after he takes, you can see that he wasted 2 moves. Now let's see here, if the bishop were at f1 and if we take, then he can directly take it. But first he put his bishop here. Now we'll take, then he have to play one more bishop move. So we'll just play 1 and he will play 2. So whenever the bishop develops in d3, then we take. Bishop takes, and now c5. Now you will think that this is a pawn sacrifice, but actually not, because if the pawn takes, then the queen will jump here, attacking this pawn, and there will be pressure on white side. So white does not take, and here he plays knight to f3, developing. Now queen to c7, putting its queen here, protecting this pawn and also looking some ideas of knight to g4 in the future. Bishop to e2 played by white. b6 with the idea of fianchetting this bishop here and then taking this. Bishop takes, then we are taking our knight here sometimes and then putting pressure here with the queen and the knight. So this is all the strategies here. Bishop to b2. So now you can see that this bishop is not so strong because it is blocked by its own pieces. But then why? Magnus Carlsen is the world champion. Why did he play bishop to b2? That's because he knows that his structure is fluid. These 2 pawns can come off very easily. He can take this pawn, push this, and then this bishop will become very strong in this diagonal. So he put bishop to b2, and it's a strong move, of course. Bishop to b7, castles, and knight b to d7, protecting this pawn with the knight now. Because now if white takes with the pawn, then we take this as a knight, and our knight is also very good outposted at that c5 square. c4 played by white. Now you can see white's idea is to push this also and open this bishop on this long diagonal. r8 to c8, rook to c1, and now rf to d8, rook f to d8. So now if this also comes, we can move our knight and then this pawn will be pinned because the queen will be hanging. So rook comes to this semi-open file. Queen to b3, coming out of this semi-open file, and then with the idea of bringing other rook like this and developing it. Knight to g4. Yes, as we discussed. Now black's idea, if this was black move, then it was very crushing. You could also pause the video and find it, because now I'm going to tell the answer, which is bishop takes the knight. Wow. Now if the bishop takes, then queen takes, h2 is a checkmate, and if at all the bishop does not take, then we will be a knight up. So now white has to do something. g3, a very good move. So now the queen can't see on the h2 square. But this ruins white structures. You can see that these squares, these white color squares are very weak right here, and our bishop is posted over this square. So our bishop is very strong seeing on this diagonal. So now we can see something spooky over this diagonal, which we'll see in the coming moves. Now knight retreats back. Now Vishy thinks that this is not our plan. So now we'll go from here to here. We can put pressure here with the idea of this in some moves. Let's see. So now rook to d1, rook f to d1, knight e4, knight e1. Why? Because he wants to post its knight here and then attack it here, here, and controlling the central squares. So knight to e1. Now knight to d6, and now d5 break. Why do we say a break? Because here you can see that these three, all the central pawns are intact till now. But after d5, it's a break because we can exchange of the central pawns here, and now the center is open. The bishop is seeing here. You can see this bishop will see here, and many more things. So this is called a break. E takes pawn, c takes pawn, and now we play c4. Why? Because you could see that this is the defender of this pawn. So we are now attacking, and now only one defender leaves away. So our idea could be bring a knight here, attack here, attack here. Queen to c2 and b5. Why b5? Because you could see that one attacker, two attacker, three attacker, and there were only three defenders. So now if the knight had to move, then this pawn would be hanging. So we first defend that pawn by playing b5. Knight to g2. Wow, some interesting ideas. You can see that this is the idea. It was not this, but now it's this, coming to a f4 square so as to protect this pawn. Knight to c5. A lovely outpost for this knight. Why is it called an outpost? Because there are no pawns here to kick this knight. It is all empty and the knight can't be kicked. So it's an outpost. Knight to f4, queen e7, and now bishop g4, attacking this rook and developing, of course, your bishop. Rook to c7, queen to c3, a sudden threat on here. Now if you were here, then you would have played f3 just to block this, but no, we'll go f4. Wow, no, you will take, this is a checkmate. Oh my god. Haha, no, the queen is there, the rook is there. So f4 is a great move. We are also attacking this bishop. Bishop to f3 and rook c to d7. Now you can see that there is going to be some destruction happening in this file, the d file. Let's move upon. Queen to b4, attacking this pawn and also this knight. Knight to b3, a lovely outpost here because it can also not be kicked, and one piece on an outpost should always be defended by a pawn, which is right here. So now no matter whatever piece cannot take it. Now if the rook comes here, he cannot take because the pawn is defending. So a piece on the outpost should be defended by a pawn. Knight to e6, a counter attack. So there are two ways to defend an attack. We can directly defend it like this is attack. So we could have gone with knight to c2, rook to c2, and the second move is we can go and counter attack, that is knight to e6. So now you take, I take, so give and take. Now we take the rook and then rook takes a knight. Instead, if he had taken this, then also it would be equalish, but Magnus thought that this knight is very strong here, so I could give up that. So rook takes. Now here our rook is also attacked, but we are already an exchange up. So Vishy Anand says, you want to take, you take, I get a strong knight. So I'll go knight to c8. If you want to take, you can take. And also he is offering exchange of the queens. The queen takes, then the rook can take or the knight can take. The knight would take because there will be pressure on this pawn. But queen took this pawn. Oof, this is a slightly bad move, because since we are an exchange up, we can directly take this pawn via rook. Because if bishop takes, we'll take with the rook, of course, because we are already an exchange up. Bishop took, rook takes, the queen is attacked, the knight is attacked, and now queen to b4. Now here normal player will directly take this, but he would take this and then attack here, and there are many attacks. But we would just go knight to d6, calm move. We are stopping this exchange, we are also protecting this bishop, and also in the corner we are attacking this knight. Here the only move white had to play was knight to f4, the only move, so as to attack this and protect it. But white played knight to c5. Oof, this is the blunder, the first and the last blunder of the game. Because of the two moves, white was crushed. So now it's black to play and you have to find the move right here. The hint is that you have to see this bishop. It is strong over this diagonal. That's the hint. Black to play and you have to make the winning move from here. So the move is rook takes knight. What a sacrifice. This is because if queen takes, which happened in the game, then queen to e4, game over. You can see that this, now it's very crushing. You cannot stop the checkmate here. And also there's only and only one way, that is king here, to stop this checkmate, because now if we deliver checks from here, then the king can run here to e2. But here also we have a winning continuation. So just to tell that here Magnus Carlsen resigned. But if the king goes to f1, then queen to h1, check, king to e2, then we come with the bishop here. Then the king goes to d2, and now knight check, knight fork right here. And wherever the king goes, let's say here, then we won't take this, or we can take this also, because after rook takes, then we get the rook. So we can take the queen right here like this. If rook takes, we can take the rook and we are two pieces up, whereas white has only one piece. And also we can continue here by taking this rook first, the king or the bishop takes, and now we can take. Why this is a more efficient way? Because at that time our bishop was placed here, so the pawns could move here. But now our bishop is slightly very good, because it controls all these three pawns. So this was a variation when the king goes to f1. But why to see that? Because here was game over. Magnus Carlsen resigned here and Vishy Anand won the game from here. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was a very good game according to me, and I also think that it will be a very good experience for the players playing this game. This game was played 3 years ago in a tournament. So this was for today, the game between Vishy Anand and Magnus Carlsen, in which Vishy Anand won with triumph. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, hit the very big like button down below the video, so that everyone gets to know about this amazing game. And also, if you haven't yet subscribed my channel, do it as soon as possible. So now let's meet in the next video. Till then, stay safe and play chess. Goodbye.